Wonderful morning, afternoon, evening. Depends on when you're watching this. This is the best ICT gold traders channel, and I'm gonna be walking you through the trade that I took today. Beautiful buy trade, and some of the flaws that I had during the trade. That I obviously need to work on. No one is perfect, but without further ado, let me just proceed. This is the gold weekly chart. So, like I said, uh, this is gonna be the quadrants of this wick right here, 50%, respected it, went higher. Plus this fair value gap right there, respected it, went higher. And what was my draw on liquidity? This has been my draw on liquidity for for 2 weeks now. Yeah, for 2 weeks. And we're just about to tag that. I was actually aiming for it today. You'll see as we go. And so this is last week's candle. See how we closed in this auto block. This is the changing state of delivery. This down close candle right there. Close upside the opening price, and then traded to 50% min threshold of the auto block. And I said I want to see big candles to the upside. So after trading to the order block, what's the next draw on liquidity? This high, the high of this week, plus these relatively equal lows. That relatively equal highs, that's a good target. So yeah, as you can see, this is Monday's candle. This is the new week's candle, Monday's candle. It's NFP week. Monday is always like NFP week. Monday is always good for trading. Uh, yeah, I just wanted to show that mean threshold of the auto block respected sensitivity, went to the upside, took out those highs. Great. And now I'm going to go down to the daily chart. This is just the top down analysis. We traded to this auto block, respected this inversion. Do you see the bodies closing outside of the inversion? No, that's a signature in price that we are bullish, that we are in a buy program. Plus, we respected this fair value gap right there as we traded to the auto block, to the opening price of this down close candle. And yeah, that high, relatively car highs, same highs on the weekly chart, they got tagged. So I entered right before this high. Let me just mark it up because it's gonna be significant to the walkthrough previous day high. All right, now I'm gonna go to the 4-hour chart. Nothing pretty much. Just you see this. It's just that it's not a bit clear. I traded to the auto block right. This low. This is an intermediate term low. After trading to the daily order block plus this BC right there that I took a setup from last week. If you you can go back into the channel, the video before this one, yeah, is the trade breakdown of this trade. So changing state of delivery, went down into the order block after taking out those highs, and then went up. I'm gonna show you what made us to go up on the hourly chart. So this is the hourly business right there. Uh we have this inversion fair value gap right here from Friday. This is Thursdays, actually Friday. This Asia session, it says Thursday, but Asia in my time, and it opens on Friday. So yeah, but that's not really important, is it? We got this inversion. We gapped up, new week opening gap. This is today's price action from this candle right there. This candle right there. We gapped up, new week opening gap. You have to mark those out in your chart. Inversion, respect to this inversion. Do the bodies close outside of the inversion? No. If the bodies close outside of the of 50% of the inversion fair value gap, the next candle it has to explode towards the direction. That's what you have to see in price if you are really on side. As you can see, that happened. Down close candle, close outside 50%. The next candle goes up right there. But I didn't take this trade. I don't trade hourly chart, so I didn't get a setup from here to this new day opening gap. But this previous day high was my target, right? We took out all this trend line liquidity right there, low resistance liquidity. Inverse this PDRA, that makes that a balanced price range. Preferably, you don't want to see price return there. And this all happened during London session. Preferably, like I said, preferably you don't want to see price get back there. And then I marked out this hourly BC. Why this BC? Why not this BC? This BC displaced above all these highs right there. These are breakaway gaps. See this small consolidation right there. Price shouldn't return there. On top of that, price shouldn't even, if we're really on side, it shouldn't return to this inversion fair value gap on the hourly. Like I said, on the hourly. Okay. So that makes that a balanced price range, right? So I marked out this inefficiency with the body, with the volume imbalance included. I'm gonna magnify that area. Volume imbalance included. See how we traded to it. Just the tick. Just the tick. It shows what? It shows that we're really, really, really bullish. It shows heaviness. So let me go down to the 15-minute. Oh my God. All right. This was just beautiful price action. Yeah. The reason I said, oh my God, is because I clicked that by mistake. Jesus. All right. This was just beautiful textbook price action. And then auto block, hourly BC, another hourly BC right there. Auto block after we traded to this BC, formed after London closed, and then traded down. I entered off there, went up, traded down one more time into this fair value gap, and then this inversion. I also included the volume imbalance right there, and then stayed on the upper half. What did it do? Ripped up. People want to short this fair value gap. What did I do there? I'm looking for longs. I'm looking for it to get inverged. I added another position right there. Let me turn on my executions. Every single thing I did here, I did also on my funded challenge account. And then I got out. There's buy side resting there. I got out right there. Entry, entry, right as we traded to mean threshold of that. As you can see, as we breached mean threshold, I added a position, pyramiding 2 contracts. I entered, the bulk of my position is at my original entry. When price shoots down, I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I'm just watching it. What is it trading into? What is it trading into? See those down close candles right there. That's a bullish order block coupled with this BC, hourly BC. You have to cycle through time frames when you're in a trade or when you're anticipating a trade. So the reason why I entered, I was confident entering this trade. My target hadn't been reached, which is this previous day high. And I want to show you, let's go to the hourly chart. Let me turn off my execution. All right, no, let me not turn them. So you see this high right there. See how we stalled when we got there, stalled, and then traded to this inefficiency and then went up again. We stalled here because smart money is retail traders see this as what? Resistance. Smart money is inducing shorts right there. So traders see this as resistance and then they want to go short. They enter positions, put that stop loss on this high. And then on the other high, there's another high right there. Let's wait for it to load. There's the high right there. I'm talking about that I got off of. This is an intermediate term high off of this inefficiency. So retail traders see support. Smart money is just inducing them to so we can trade into this BC right there and then go higher. I just wanted to point that out. So when you're taking a trade, you have to ask yourself, has smart money sponsored your setup? Has smart money sponsored your trade setup? On the higher time frame, I'm looking at the bias. Yes, it has. Why am I confident that this order block is gonna work? Even though we haven't like reached deep into this BC because of this inversion fair value gap on the hourly. That's a balanced price range. If we're really bullish, price shouldn't return there. And I added the volume imbalance. We traded to it just by a tick. It shows what? Heaviness. I wait for my change in state of delivery. That's my model, one of my models. And then I entered that to the tick, pyramided on this fair value gap, bearish fair value gap, because I'm anticipating it to act as an inversion fair value gap. Took out all my positions here. Now, what was I gonna do differently on this trade? Like I said, this was my target. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I I was I was kinda disoriented today. I had to run some errands for my mom. It was a bit of short notice. I had already planned out my whole day that I was just gonna be home looking at the charts, just you know, babysitting every single candlestick because I have like ample time to just focus on trading. So my target wasn't planned for. Obviously, when I enter here, I only take 2 hours. My 2 hour was somewhere here, right there. As you can see, when price got there, wicked and went down. But as I see these candlesticks forming, I'm I'm not in the right state of mind mentally. I know that we are in a busy on the hourly time frame and that this is an intermediate term high. So that's like the best place to exit. But if you take your fib projections right there, short term low, and then the long term high, and then you get your standard deviations, -1 deviation was the best place to exit. Actually, -2, 2.5, but -1 is always like the best place to exit, which was just above 2R. That was the most logical place to exit. That was the most low hanging fruit objective. So that was the only thing I could have done different. And I take it that the next few days, trading days, I'll be more oriented. And as far as my progress, the amount here is exactly the same on, not exactly, but yeah, it's 115 profit as in my funded challenge account. Uh, the target for the phase one is 400 USD. So just a couple left. And then this was a losing trade I took on Friday. Didn't post it because uh honestly it was the for the week, honestly, I was supposed to be done because I missed that FOMC beautiful shot to the yeah, I missed that FOMC beautiful shot. What I'm trying to say is from my information, the information I gathered from gold and the way I trade my models, they give me three great setups in a week, at least three great setups. So during London and even Asia, yeah. But during London and New York session, because those are what I trade. So I had already gotten them for that week, and this was just me trying to like reach. As this was just me trying to like ask too much from the hand that feeds me, you know. But it didn't really matter because I was already up for the week, and yeah, that's just it, honestly. Like I said, if I was to do anything different, I was gonna get out there because the missing handles, like the extra profit, it makes sense that I exited because I had reached my daily target, which is 80 USD. But those extra profits, they can be used for like when you're when you get in a loss to mitigate some of your losses, your future losses, you know. So at least that's the mindset or perspective that I'm coming from with holding to your objective, not just focusing on the PN. And the other reason why I failed to hold a bit more was because I was focusing on my PNL. I was looking at that the fact that okay, I've reached my target for the day. So I can just close the trade on top of the fact that I was disorientated for the whole day, typically disoriented. So honestly, it's not like a huge deal, but since I'm a bit of a perfectionist and a bit obsessive sometimes when it comes to things like this, I could have really squeezed out all the juice from the lemon. So instead of taking a 2 hour, I typically just took a 2.1 hour. It's actually 2.1 from this minus one deviation. I typically took a 1.7 hour, but that's not a big deal. At the end of the day, we reached our target, but there's always room for improvement. Though that's what I'm working on right now, and I'm sure the next the next trades I will do much better. So yeah, that's just it. Good luck, good trading. Don't gamble on NFP week. I will I will have a tape reading session on NFP 30 minutes before news release. Live tape reading session on this YouTube channel. So yeah, that's just all the business. I hope if anyone is watching this is gonna tune in before that. If anyone is watching this before that, but you know, it doesn't really matter because this is just a place that I journal my thoughts, my trades, and everything, and it's done wonders for me. It's just a huge blessing. Other than that, let me not make the video long. Mm.